back to the Covert Knitter podcast, episode 4. My name is Katie. I've gone by the Covert Knitter on Instagram and on a blog for several years. Today I want to talk about a couple of projects I've been working on, two of which are not knitting, and I've actually spent quite a bit of time on them recently. And then I also wanted to get on and chat about the Winter Wonderland MKAL by Kay Hopkins, which is starting in a little over a week at this point, which is why I wanted to talk about it now and talk about what my plans are for it. So I think that is actually where I'm going to start. It is a mystery knit-along that is like a Christmas theme twist. The first clue releases on Friday, November 4th, and it ends on Friday, December 9th, I believe. So I'm very excited to start it. I'm hoping to actually stay on track with this one. So currently I am wearing the last make-along that I absolutely failed at. I think I finished it like a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years after I started it. And this is the What the Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry. And anytime I do a make-along, I don't like to necessarily spend a ton of money on yarn, especially because a lot of times these are newer designers for me. And I'm just unsure if I'm going to like the finished product or not. So this one is knit in the Knit Picks palette. I don't have the colors off the top of my head because it was so long ago, but I can look them up, and I do believe most of them, if not all of them, are still available. So for this mystery knit-along, I'm also using the Knit Picks palette fingering weight, and I have all of my colors here. So I am doing the 6-color gradient, and it is 6 colors with then a light, quote-unquote, light icy color. So I had a bunch of minis from an advent calendar I did a couple years ago, and unfortunately they weren't enough. There wasn't enough yardage there, otherwise I would have 100% used that. But since there was not enough, I did order some palettes to make it, and I did kind of use that as a little bit of a theme when I picked my colors. So the main 6, I'm going to start with this orange here. This is Masala, and then I have Victorian, and then this is Clover. Toffee is this one right here. Clove Heather, which is absolutely gorgeous, and then Lingonberry Heather. And then for my light icy color, I did Blush, which is a very light pink. So I'm going to show you those up close and just repeat the names for you. But this is what it's going to this is my color palette, and this is what it's going to kind of look like as it knits up, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. So starting with my main 6, we have Masala, which is a gorgeous like orange pumpkin-y color. And then I have Victorian, which is a really lovely rose pink. So I'm going to toss those to the side. This is Clover, which is a nice leafy green color. Toffee, kind of just a nice toffee caramely brown. And I dropped one of them. Okay, this is the one that fell. This is Clove Heather, and I don't know if you'll be able to kind of see. Here, let's do that. It's not focusing, but it is a heather, and I love it. It's got kind of like caramely brown, burgundy, forest green color tones in it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And then I did Lingonberry Heather. That one shows up much better. It's just like shades of red. Love it. And for my light icy contrast, I did Blush, which is just a light blush pink color. Yeah, so if anyone else is doing it, please leave your name in the comments, and I can, your Ravelry name, and I can find you there, and we can kind of connect over there. Yeah, so I think that is what I have for that. So you'll see more of that from me. If I don't post about it on here super up to date because I'm a little behind on videos, I will be posting about it on my Instagram, using the little pictures to hide my progress on it. So let's get into my other current work in progress knitting projects, and then we'll get into the other projects I have going on. So I have, as mentioned in my last video, I did start the Pink Fizz sweater, and I do have it in this bag, which I got on Mackinac Island when I got married. It's one of the Atlas collection bags. You can find these online through many different retailers. Basically what happens is people get them customized and sell them separately. I know Magnolia sells them because I have one of the little ones from there. But they're all sorts of different places. So we have my Pink Fizz sweater. Let me get it going the right way. And it's kind of still a mess. I'm very excited, and I am really, really loving working on this, and really loving the how the pattern is starting. So I do have the ribbing done, and then it's hard to see, but I do have a couple rows of the main pattern done. I joined and started the main pattern for the body yesterday, and then here is the back. It's a little bit longer. Loving the construction of this, loving the lace pattern. It has been a bit since I have read a charted pattern. I think the last time I did a charted pattern was probably back 2016, 2017. So I am really loving just the difference of that, and getting back into charts. And I was a little intimidated by it, but it's going really well, and it kind of just clicked again. Yeah, so I'm really, really enjoying that. I got, I think, 4 rows done last night, and then I did eventually get my lifelines added. And how I did the lifelines for this is I just lifelined each lace section. So it's kind of like there's lace section, and then there's 2 on the back as well. But then there's a lot of just straight knitting, which also just is kind of nice. So I have 4 little lifelines scattered throughout, which is part of why it's such a mess. And once I start getting away from the hem a little bit, it will definitely get better, because some of the tails for where I had the ribbing will be further away from where I'm working, so it'll be a little bit less chaotic. But yeah, because it's kind of like this is for the back and there's some tails. So it's a little chaotic. We're very doable, very workable. I'm really, really enjoying that pattern. And I know it will get better the further I get from where I joined those 2 pieces for the front and the back. And then my other work in progress is the one that has been traveling everywhere with me. This is going with me this weekend to my husband's best friend's wedding out in Palm Springs, California. But I actually have not been working on it a ton because I'm trying to keep it as my travel project. So it's in this cute little bag. Love this bag. And this is just a cowl. I got the yarn at a yarn store in Kansas City. Let me see what the name of it was. It was Yarn Social in Kansas City. Because I forgot my project when I was on a work trip. So I got the yarn, got the needles, got the bag, and just found this pattern online and have just kind of been going with it. Eventually I will post more details. I need to go through, count out the stitches, and I will post more, but that is that. I know I talked about this in other videos. This is, I think both of these are Farmer's Daughters yarns. I believe in my last video I said what the sock weight yarn was, and I have no idea what the mohair is. I lost the tag years ago. So, and yeah, so this is absolutely coming with me. I'll probably be working on this actually quite a bit this weekend because I'm filming this on the Wednesday. We get on a plane at noon today. I still have to pack. But because I traveled a ton last year for work, I've gotten very good at packing very quickly, and I like already have my outfits laid out. They just need to finish getting packed. I need to iron a couple of things. And everything just kind of needs to get thrown in bags and ready to go. So that's going to be in my bag with me on the airplane. I will probably knit quite a bit on the airplane because we are flying across the country. So we've got quite a bit of airplane time. So I'm going to talk about something that I did finish this weekend that is not knitting related whatsoever. And it's not perfect. It's a little weird, but we're working on it. I kind of just wanted to make another bag like one of the cross-stitch ones I have, and just kind of went for it and sewed it, and it is by no means perfect. I did some things weird, and I'm going to work on it, correct them, because I actually did enjoy making these and would like to make more. So I made this little flat project bag, and it actually has my needle point in it. So it's this little zippered pouch. I sewed the zipper in weird. We're going to ignore that. And then I tried to do some cute little trim, and there's spots where it's like not attached and parts where it's attached normally, but I used this cute little fabric. I used this fabric this was some leftover fabric from the toiletry bags that I made for my bridesmaids for my wedding. And then it's just got this plastic piece in here. Yeah. So let's talk about what's inside of it. I got this shortly before our wedding because I kind of knew I was not going to know what the heck to do with myself after, which is very true. So this is a little needlepoint canvas of a flamingo. It is designed to be turned into a like eyeglass case after the fact. So that's what I am planning on doing with it once I finish it. I started this the end of last week. I didn't work on it at all over the weekend. I just kind of worked on it during the week, and it's very rhythmic. I don't have to pay attention to a pattern, and it's been kind of nice to work on. Yeah, so I've been enjoying this. I'm going to show you up close. It's this little flamingo. You can kind of see on the front a little bit of what I got done. I have a lot of the chevron print around the flamingo done. If you look at the back, that really shows you kind of how much I've gotten done. So yeah, I am going to bring this weekend. This will be great for sitting by the pool and talking, chatting, hanging out with people, because I just don't have to focus super hard on it. It's very rhythmic. I get in my rhythm, and I can kind of not really pay a ton of attention. So in here with this, I have all of my little pearl cotton flosses. I have a pack of needles with me just in case. And I have a little pair of scissors. These 100% should make it through TSA, no problem. Anything that is less than 2 inches from the pivot point is a-okay to fly within the U.S. I have traveled outside of the U.S. with knitting before and had small needles and had no problem. I have heard some horror stories, mainly coming out of Mexico, but I had no problem flying on a flight to and from England with just like a standard knitting needle. I believe those were Clover, so they were wooden, and it was a circular needle. I was working on a shawl at that point, and I did actually bring these scissors with and had no problem with that. And then the cute little cross-stitch pillow with my initial K on it. And that, my mom made this several years ago for me as part of a Christmas present. It was a cute little box with all sorts of accessories in it. Going back to the canvas, I got this at Third Coast Stitches in Chicago, Illinois. I don't know. I got it in store. I don't know that they have more of these. But they do have a wonderful site, and they are very, very nice in person. We went in person when we went to try on suits for our wedding for my husband. and they helped me kit it up and get going on that. This is an 18 mesh canvas, and I am working with a size 24 needle on this one, which is bigger than I normally work with, believe it or not. My mom makes fun of me. My mom is a fantastic cross stitcher. I love every single thing she does, and I'm obsessed with her work. And she does tiny little things. She will do like crazy small counts. She'll do like 40 count and work with like teeny tiny needles. And I'm like, she'll do like over one. She does just the most insanely beautiful work I've ever seen. Yeah, I should show you what she made me for our wedding present, maybe in the next video, because it is across the room right now. So this is the project bag that I kind of based the one I made off of. And this is another project that I am going to bring with me. I'm going to bring the needlepoint, I'm going to bring this, I'm going to bring my little knitting project. This I started years and years and years ago. I technically started this back in 2015. And it's been put down a lot. Knitting is my main thing, but I was at a point in my life where knitting was not a great option because of the amount of space it took up. I was doing an internship at a very different part of the country than I was living in. So I needed something small and portable, and this is what I did. The cross-stitch store that I got this at closed years ago, unfortunately. The pattern is still available places. But yeah, so I'm working on Little House Needleworks, Old Nantucket. Yeah, show you that picture. And I have a good amount done on the ship, and that's about it. So I would like to get back into cross stitching now that the wedding is over and I'm not knitting 3 massive shawls. And again, I do really like the rhythmic stitches. I do have to pay a little bit more attention to this because it is a charted pattern. It's counter cross stitch, so you have to count. You have to kind of pay attention where you are. So it's a little bit more brain intensive, I guess, than working on the needlepoint. But there's going to be times I can absolutely work on this weekend too. So that is the little ship I have done. I don't have anything really more than that. You can kind of see I have a large piece of fabric, but I was like looking at it the other day and I'm like, oh, I actually have quite a bit of the ship done. And that is, a surprisingly large chunk of the pattern. I would say it's probably about 1/6 of the pattern. Yeah, that's about right. So I'm working on that as well and gonna try to get this done because I have been buying cross stitch patterns, and in my defense, I have not been kidding them, but I have been buying the patterns because that's, you see a pattern and either you forget the name of it, you lose track of it, or patterns eventually get discontinued and it's harder to find them. So I've been buying the patterns. I have not been kitting them up. I feel like that can be done at a later date when I am ready to work on them. So that's kind of what I'm working on there. For this, I'm not sure what the fabric I'm working on is. I knew I was going to be going to this internship, and I was in La Crosse at the time, going to school at UW La Crosse, and at the time there was a very, very nice, just really good cross-stitch store, and I'd been there several times, getting Christmas gifts for my mom, getting stuff for me. I've done a couple of things that I bought there. And I worked with the owner, and she helped me kit it up. So I do know that it is the called for flosses. I am not sure what the fabric is, and I will probably never know. But it was something that it is the same count that is in the pattern. I know that much. So I do know that it is a 30 count. This one says 30 count Cocoa Linen from Weeks Dye Works. I don't know that that's what that is. I do know that it is 30 count. yeah, so that's kind of what I know about that, what I remember about it. And I'm just kind of chipping away at it. So we will see. I will show some updates about it in the future, I'm sure. Yeah, so those are the 3 projects I'm bringing. Again, I'm bringing my little Kansas City cowl that I started that doesn't have a name because it's what it is. I'm bringing Old Nantucket, and I am bringing my little Flamingo needlepoint piece. So, and the reason I'm bringing both needle projects is because I could not decide. Do I have needles in here? I need to double check that. I think I do. Oh yeah, I do. I have some bohemian needles in here. These are 26 count, which is what I normally work with, and my mom makes fun of me because they're huge compared to what she works with. It's fine. I have my bag of floss. I have my little floss card. Yeah, so these are all kind of good to go. They just need to get packed in my backpack with me, and I will be ready for the airplane. And I just have to finish packing my normal suitcase. Again, I have everything laid out, ready to go. I just need to iron a couple things and get it all packed. So thank you for tuning in today. Check back to see how everything is going. I hope to get this video up relatively soon. I still have not finished editing and posting my last video, so they might get posted close together because of the Winter Wonderland MKAL. If you guys do want to join me on that, I want to make sure you have time to pick out yarn and get it. I ordered mine. Yeah, I know there were several dyers that were involved with this that had kits. Otherwise, you can always go get something up at your local yarn store, which I always highly encourage. Yeah, so thanks again for joining, and I hope you stick around for my next video.